Okay, here's the thing, my friends. 2024 is now in the rear view. 2025 stretches out ahead of us. Welcome, my friends, to the year 2025. More than that though, welcome here to a crazy John Legg fragrance review. Hands up, I am no professional, I am no expert, I do not claim to be either of those things, but trust me, my friends, I'm a regular random guy with a massive, humongously big collection of fragrances. And you're here, hopefully, so that I can share the passion that I have for these fragrances with you. And once I've shared that passion, you feel that passion, you're going to be inspired to wear a good fragrance every single day. Okay. See, for me, I've worn fragrances since I was around about 12. Got my first fragrance, I was like, oh dear me, this is so good. And from then onwards, I've worn fragrances every single day. For me, fragrance is an energy, fragrance is an emotion, fragrance is a memory, and fragrance is a passion. And you will feel all of those things on this channel, my friends, because I have all of those things involved with the fragrances that I have. Okay, now, what's 2025 going to bring? You know what, I'm guessing it will be like any other year. There'll be good times and there'll be bad times. There'll be times of enjoyment and there'll be times of disappointment. It's going to be one of those years where, you know what, we're going to hit it hard, we're going to get it done, and we're going to come out the other side going, you know what, it was all right. Okay, here's the thing. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something a little bit about me. Okay. Channel's not about me, it's about fragrance, but let me just tell you something about me which will help you to understand why I'm going to review this particular fragrance here on January the 1st, 2025. Okay. Around about Easter last year in 2024, I decided, I do not know what it was, well I kind of do, but I suddenly decided I wanted to get fit. I wanted to I've got a treadmill. 25-30 metres up that garden is a garage, and in there is a treadmill, and I was sort of using it every now and then. I've got weights, I've got various bits of equipment. I will be honest with you, I have never stepped foot in a gym in my life, and I don't really intend to ever do that. Okay, but I've always kind of been into keep fit, but it was a little bit sort of hit and miss. And I'll tell you, actually, the reason why I did this was because I was getting in from work, and I was maybe just having a shower and pretty much going to bed. I totally lacked energy. I mean, I'm quite an active person, but I was just lacking energy. And I thought, you know what, if I was just to trim up a little bit, if I was to sort of channel my sort of energy, if you like, into sort of routine exercise, maybe I'd feel better for it. And I can hand on heart say, I do. Okay, and I built it up slowly, and it was really the treadmill that did it. You know, I was on the treadmill every single night. I built it up from sort of 2 miles a night to 3 miles a night, and I've now got to the point where I do 5 miles every single night. I do not go to bed until I've done that 5 miles. Even if I've been out with some friends in the evening, if I get home and there's still enough time, no, I do it anyway. I make the time, I go to my treadmill and I do that 5 miles. Sometimes I'll do a little bit more if it's the weekend. On Christmas Day I ran a half marathon, 13.5 miles or whatever it was on the treadmill. I absolutely have that energy. But you know what? There are some days, my friends, when I just don't feel it. When I just cannot do that sort of 25-30 metres up to the garage and get on that treadmill. And I'm like, nah. And I come out with all these excuses. In fact, it actually happened today, January the 1st, 2025. I woke up. And I don't know what, it was sort of normal sort of waking up to go to work time. You know what your body clock's like. Even though you haven't got to go to work, you sort of wake up the normal time. I came downstairs, got myself a cup of tea, and I went back and sat in bed, and I was just sort of sipping the tea and thinking, right, okay, all right, I haven't got to go to work today. It's a bank holiday here in the UK. Maybe I ought to go and do my treadmill in the morning instead of in the evening. Get that out the way, and then I can get on with a few jobs that I've got planned for today. But you know what, as I sat there, I was thinking, I know, we're in the middle of a storm. I mean, the storm has been like 100-mile-an-hour winds, horizontal rain, and it was sort of blowing things around. I thought, you know, I don't really fancy going up there to my treadmill. And I had twisted my back a little bit about a week ago. And, you know, as I was sat there, I was thinking of all these excuses. And I thought, I'll tell you what, maybe I'll do it this evening, my normal sort of 6 o'clock sort of time. No, my friends. I thought, what could be the difference between me sitting here making all these excuses and me being up there on my treadmill? A fragrance. Yeah, okay. That's why I've told that story, my friends, because there is a fragrance, well, there's several fragrances, but this one in particular, at the moment I smell it, I'm like, okay, I'm on. It's like pressing the on button on my energy. And for many, many years, my claim to fame is that I didn't have a full-size bottle of the original Invictus EDT, he says as he tries to focus it. And to be fair, I'm very familiar with the scent. I've had this sample, and for all I've sprayed it over the years, I've still got quite a bit left. Absolutely crazy. But I happened to be on eBay a few months ago, and someone happened to be selling an original bottle, a proper Paco Rabanne original bottle. It said it was a damaged box, but it was the 100ml, the EDT, and they were selling it for £37 British. I couldn't really resist it. I've always fancied a bottle, but I've held off because I've always sort of convinced myself that the performance isn't great and I've got enough clones and I don't really need the original thing. But when it was £37 British, I was like, I've got to do it. Let me just spray it. Let me spray it, my friends, and let me tell you how good Paco Rabanne's Invictus, the original Invictus, is. Okay. That bottle, my friends, contains some raw energy juice. Invictus is all about energy. It's all about a sort of a youthfulness. It's all about, I see it as timeless energy youthfulness. Absolutely crazy. On the top shelf of Invictus, you've got some gorgeous grapefruit. You've got some gorgeous orange. Okay, now those two combined come across as a little bit bubblegummy. Okay, I'm not saying it's like real bubblegum, but it gives a bubblegum sort of vibe. Those are just so gorgeously fruity, rich notes at the top that it comes across slightly bubblegummy. Don't let that put you off. It's not like a proper hubba bubba, you know, that chewing gum. It's just a slightly fruity bubblegum vibe. Okay. Then, following those two notes, straight hard on the heels of those two, is a salty sea air kind of vibe. Now that is gorgeous. That gives it the twist that just takes it from being a very fruity fragrance to being a sort of a slightly different fruity kind of fragrance. Okay. Underpinning all of that stuff, I don't know where that came from. Underpinning all of that stuff is some gorgeous, sweet, rich woods at the bottom. It's sweet and it's rich. There's a little bit of sweet patchouli and there is some gorgeous oak moss. Personally, I see the oak moss giving this its timelessness. Okay, I'm a massive fan of oak moss. It's not for everyone, and in here the oak moss is just gorgeously sat there at the bottom. It's not a massive player, but you do get the oak moss. Absolutely stunning. And you know what, my friends, when I sprayed this on this morning, I was up at the treadmill within 10 minutes. Okay, honestly, this is like an on button for energy. Okay, it has cooped up within this juice a get up and go kind of energy. Here in the UK, Invictus, the original eau de toilette, the EDT, has never lost its value. I mean, it was launched in about 2013, so it's getting on a bit. And this stuff, my friends, is still going for about 75 to 80 British pounds. A little bit steep. Okay, now if you can get, like I did on eBay, some crazy good deal at sort of under £40, get the original, because you will never ever beat the original. The original is stunning, and let me tell you, even though it's an EDT, its performance is not bad. Okay, it's not a Depothian performance, it isn't, but for an EDT this has a very, very respectable performance. For a solid 2 hours this stuff is radiating off you. I'm not going to say it's projecting wildly, it doesn't, but for a solid 2 hours this stuff is radiating off you, and then it drops down to a scent bubble. Okay, a fairly sort of reasonable sized scent bubble, and then it keeps going for a further sort of 4 or 5 hours. Okay, skin and clothes, it's there the next day. Okay, so EDT, the original Paco Rabanne, is not a bad performance. Okay, it's not the best, but it's not bad. Now, let me help you out, because you may say, Leggy, I just don't quite want to spend the money on the original. I would like an option. Now, I'm all about options, I'm all about clones, because I'm massive approval of clones. Okay, now, let me just give you 3 options that you may be able to sort of pick which option you would prefer. Now, here we go. Pandora scents do a fantastic version of Invictus. Now let me spray it and let me try and tell you where the Pandora scents Harrier, let's try and focus it for you so you can see it. Pandora scents Harrier, okay? You know, there's a smidge of alcohol, just a smidgy-widgy of alcohol, which lasts about maybe 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, when that burns off, it leaves a very, very unmistakable Invictus smell. Okay, it is without doubt Invictus. I mean, okay, it kind of looks a little bit like it with the wings and whatever, it kind of looks that sort of thing, but the Pandora scents is a solid smell. In terms of, if I was to give you a silly percentage, I'd say it was about a 95% the same. But where it differs is it just doesn't quite have the energy of the original. Okay, so say if the original is 100% energy, then I would say in terms of energy, the Harrier by Pandora Scents is about 85 to 90%. It just is slightly muted, whereas this one is like letting the dogs out. Okay, this is a little bit more conservative, it's a little bit more reserved. Now I think, I mean, you can see I've hammered this 100ml bottle, so I've worn it an awful lot. In terms of performance, this is a slow burn. It doesn't project wildly, it's more of a radiation, and it does that pretty much all day. Okay, so in terms of the Harrier, a slow burn, not wild, but it does it for a long time. You get it on your clothes, you get it on your skin, and this is there for at least the next day. Okay, so whereas this is like quite good for 2 hours in terms of everyone around will smell it, this one sits a little bit closer, but it does that for much longer. Okay, Harrier. Now it's kind of like a slightly muted version, and as I've been wearing it, I think I know what the difference. You see, I think what gives this its real punchy energy is the grapefruit at the top. Now the grapefruit and the orange are nicely balanced in this one, more grapefruit than orange. I think from having worn pretty much 100ml of this, I can tell you that what makes it slightly muted is that the orange is just slightly more than the grapefruit. Okay, it might just be my nose sort of detecting that, but that is slightly muted. Okay, it's still a fantastic take on Invictus, and the moment you smell it, you're going to go, wow, Invictus, and it's an absolutely amazing scent, fantastic performance, but just lacks the energy of the original. What else have we got? Victorioso by Maison Alumbra, and as you can see, I've smashed the 100ml bottle. I'm literally on dregs. Let me spray it and let me try and tell you which direction the Maison Alumbra goes in. Okay, with the Maison Alumbras, as indeed with the majority of Maison Alumbras, there is a sort of a chemically alcoholic bit at the start. That lasts maybe 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, it's not bad, and it's really, at first it's a little bit off-putting, but within a short space of time, that sort of burns off and leaves an absolutely stunning take on Invictus. Now, if I was to be absolutely honest, I would say that I would struggle, once the alcoholic bit's gone, I would struggle to blind sort of smell the difference between these two. The Mason Alumbra is sort of pretty much one-on-one with Invictus EDT. Okay, absolutely stunning take. But I say the downside to this is the chemical start. That goes, so okay, let's not make that a big downside. But the other downside to this is for an hour this is big. In fact, it's actually a little bit bigger than the original in terms of its projection. For about an hour, this is wild. You go into a room and everyone can smell it. Okay, the Mason Alumbra is stunning in terms of its first hour of projection. It's not just a radiation, it is a projection. But then after that, you maybe get another half hour of a radiation, and then it comes almost, well, very, very intimately close. I'm not going to say it totally goes, but it's a very, very intimate scent bubble. To me personally, this one, and you can see I've worn it an awful lot, this one kind of just burns itself out a little bit premature. Okay, but in terms of the smell and in terms of that first hour with it, this is absolutely incredible. Oh, I suppose I ought to tell you about the prices. So the Pandora scents here in the UK, we buy this around about £23 on eBay, 23 British pounds. This one, the Mason Alumbra, I think that cost me about 18 British pounds. So fantastic value for money. But then, my friends, then we come to Fragrance World. Fragrance World has absolutely captured me because I do not know of any Fragrance World except for their copy of Baccarat Rouge 540, which I do have an issue with. All of the Fragrance Worlds are spot on in terms of their smell, and they're fantastic in terms of their performance. And you know what, my friends, this I can honestly hand on heart say that of all the clones I've ever smelt of Invictus, Invicto by Fragrance World is the one. Okay, now as you can see, this is my second bottle of this. I'm on dregs. I've just ordered another bottle, and let me tell you, here in the UK, the 100ml Eau de Parfum of Invicto by Fragrance World we can get it on eBay for £14.99 British pence. Wow, how on earth can it be this good? And I'm going to tell you, this is the best Invictus clone in terms of the smell and certainly in terms of the performance. £14.99 British pence. You know, if you have Invictus and maybe you're nearly finishing it, or maybe you don't have Invictus and you're like me, stiff upper lip, you know, you're working on your samples and you're not going to buy the real thing, just buy this one. If you're here in the UK, £15 and you get a penny change. Now let me spray this one, because there is only one downside to this one, and it's this. My sprayer, and I don't know if it happened on the previous bottle I had, but this particular sprayer leaks. So after you've sprayed it, you have to sort of flick it and it pours out. I don't know whether it gets caught in there. That's Invictus. That, my friends, the Fragrance World Invicto is Invictus absolutely spot on. If I was going to put a silly percentage, I'd have to go somewhere like 98.25. It is so ridiculously close. Okay, now, yeah, it's got everything. The Fragrance World is absolutely amazing, and realistically, the Fragrance World omits the need to buy the original. The Fragrance World is stunning. Yeah, I mean, as you can see, I've worn an awful lot because it's an everyday kind of scent. It has an energy, I say, and it's like pushing the on-off button, push that on button. Okay, what am I doing? I'll do anything today. You know, I'll get everything done, because this, my friends, is raw, gorgeous, timeless energy. Now, the Fragrance World, not only does it smell absolutely spot on to the original, its performance is solid. Between an hour and a half and 2 hours, this is a nice big radiation. Am I going to use the word projection? You know what, all right, I'll be honest with you, for the first hour this is projecting well, and then for another hour this is radiating off you, and then it drops down to a reasonable size scent bubble, and it carries on pretty much for about 8 hours after that. And this is very, very heat sensitive. So there are times, right, maybe in the afternoon of the day when you think, it's kind of gone, I haven't smelt it for a bit. And you stand up, you go to do something, you just warm up, and it's off again. And it's not just like a skin scent, it's actually coming off, it's radiating off you. This, my friends, £14.99, get it bought, okay? Whether you like Invictus or not, and whether you say, oh, Invictus is for the younger crowd, it isn't. I'm in my mid-50s now, and I absolutely think this is necessary to keep your youthfulness, okay? Because when people smell it, you come across as someone who is clean, someone who looks after themselves, and someone who has an energy, okay? That is what Invictus is all about. Now, I apologise, this has been a long review. We've looked at several fragrances. I suppose the real thing is we've actually looked at the original and some choices. Okay, so in 2025, this is the thing. If you're looking for a fragrance which will literally push your on button for energy, for getting things done, for maybe working out, or maybe just going to wash the car, or whatever jobs you've got to do, or even just going to the office, going to your place of work, get Invictus and do this. Spray it. You just want to, you're right, you can't sit still once you put Invictus on, because it is just so energetic, it's so vibrant, it's so amazing. And I suggest whichever, whether you can afford the original or get a good deal, or whether you want to go for one of the clones, get Invictus into your fragrance collection and you will not regret it. Now, I'm going to love you and leave you. Thank you ever so much for coming to this review. Thank you please for pushing the thumbs up, because you know what, thumbs up, I love thumbs up, because it makes you feel good about making me feel good, because it puts a smile on my face and you'll have a smile on your face thinking, I've just made Leggy smile. That's the way it works. So please do a thumbs up. I love thumbs up. And please consider coming back, because hopefully they'll let me out of my padded cell to do another review, and I'd love to see you back for another review. Also, please, down there's comments. If you can leave a comment and say, Leggy, you talk rubbish, mate, but you're all right. Or if you want to just say, Leggy, you talk rubbish, whatever you want to do in the comments, or even my friends, if you've got Invictus, if you've got any of the clones, if you've got any of these that I've spoken about, you know what, drop a comment, because people read the comments. Now, you may say that the Mason Alumbra is the most amazing clone ever. Drop a comment, let other people know, especially if you can compare it with the others. I mean, I can do the comparisons because I'm very well blessed in terms of having loads of different clones to be able to do that for you. Where were we? I was going, wasn't I? And you're thinking, Leggy, just go, mate. All right, please, you know why I'm here. Please stay safe. I'm here to encourage you to wear a good fragrance. Now, whether you wear it on your arms, whether you wear it on your neck, or if you're follically challenged like me, a bit on the old top. Oh, so good on the top. Trust me, if you got lacking in hair follicles, trust me, stick a bit on top and you'll actually go, man, Leggy is right about the spray on top. Okay, or whether you want to spray it onto your clothes, just let it haze onto your clothes. Don't go up close because it looks a bit silly with a blob of sort of drying fluid. Okay, I'm going to go now. Happy 2025, and thank you ever so much for being here. And stay safe, keep spraying, and goodbye. Okay, off button. Yeah, got it.